Rachel Stone is an elite spy disguised as an inexperienced baby agent in a group called MI6. When her true identity was revealed, Rachel Stone raced against a hacker to prevent her team's most valuable and dangerous weapon from falling into the enemy's hands. In the Italian Alps, MI6 was tasked with capturing a man named Mulvaney, Europe's most wanted arms dealer. While the two MI6 members, Yang and Parker, went inside for the extraction, Rachel Stone stayed in the van with Bailey to hack into security's encryption key, but she failed as she couldn't connect to the system due to it being local access only. So she needed access to someone who's already on the network, which is the head of security. For the first time since she joined MI6, Rachel stepped into the field, as she needed to be at least 10 feet closer to the head of security in order to hack into his phone. She went inside the casino and played blackjack, knowing that the head of security was going near the table. The others, worried for the baby agent, told Rachel to walk away so she wouldn't get caught. But Rachel stayed and told the head of security that she was nervous because she didn't know how to play blackjack. The head of security stayed beside her to help her out, and Rachel safely left after the game, having successfully hacked into the head of security's phone. Then Yang and Parker made their move to where Parker was. Parker stayed on the bar while Yang slowly approached Mulvaney. In her hand was a tiny syringe she would inject Mulvaney with. But before she could reach Mulvaney, the security noticed what she was about to do and stopped her. The supposedly subtle mission turned into a huge conflict as Mulvaney escaped. Parker successfully caught Mulvaney, and before he took him to the cable car, their communications emitted a static sound that hurt their ears. Then they heard the voice of a woman who had compromised their communications. Rachel looked at the bar and saw a woman named Kia raising a glass as she stared at her. Rachel knew it was Kia who compromised their communications, but was unable to do anything about it as Yang appeared, saying that they needed to go. Yang noticed more of Mulvaney's men approaching the cable car station, and they hurriedly left to prevent them from getting to Parker and Mulvaney, who were in the cable car, unable to do anything if something were to happen. Rachel slipped on the snow and feigned an injury, telling Yang to leave as she wouldn't be able to walk properly. But as soon as Yang and Bailey left, Rachel stood up and contacted Jack, a member of the group charter, to help her get to the cable car station before Yang and Bailey could reach it. With the help of a high-tech contact lens, Rachel saw a line that would serve as her guide to the cable car station. She jumped and slid down the snow, stealing a parachute and jumping down a big drop. She landed on the snow road, and when a guy came to help her up, she pulled the guy down and stole his bike. When Bailey and Yang appeared behind her, Rachel took the path to her right to avoid them. One of Mulvaney's men used a sniper to shoot at Parker, and before he could shoot Parker down, Rachel made the bike fly towards him. Rachel hid in front of a car and shot all of Mulvaney's men down. When she was done, Jack told her to hide the bodies before the other MI6 members could see her. When Bailey and Yang arrived, they were confused when they saw Mulvaney's men's car but no sign of them. The cable car stopped, and out came Parker with an unconscious Mulvaney. Bailey came to help him carry Mulvaney, but then they realized that Mulvaney had died after taking cyanide. MI6 members were disappointed as it meant they lost their potential asset, but decided to just let it go as they had to go back up the mountain for Rachel, thinking that the latter was still there waiting for them with an injury. In London, England, MI6 got reprimanded for blowing the operation and Rachel for leaving the van. MI6 went to a diner to wind down together. They talked about the girl who interrupted their mission and thought that the girl was a member of the Charter, a group that none of them knew anything about besides the fact that the Charter is known to be a group of elite agents that work together to keep peace in the world. Rachel knew who the girl really was, but she just kept silent to not blow her cover. She excused herself from the group, going back home and watching the camera footage in the bar where Kia was. The next day, Parker visited her while she was swimming and invited her to work on finding out who the girl who interrupted her was. Rachel apologized, saying she rejected the invitation because she already had a brunch date before leaving. Then Rachel went to the Hearts team headquarters and met up with the other members of the Charter. The Charter member, Evo, greeted Rachel, the 9 of Hearts in the team, and led her to where Nomad is. Using their most valuable weapon, the Heart, they easily gathered information about Kia Dawan, the girl who interrupted the MI6 team's mission. The Heart predicted with 96% certainty that Kia was heading to Lisbon for the opening of Club Moritz. Nomad explained that they would leak her information to MI6 so they could capture Kia. Rachel stated that something doesn't feel right about this mission, But Nomad and Jack disregarded it as they believed in the numbers shown in the heart. The closest mankind has to perfect intelligence. Nomad then warned Rachel not to get too comfortable with the MI6 members, as relationships, no matter what kind they are frowned upon in the Charter. Because when the governments fail in protecting their countries, the Charter would do the job to keep the peace. Relationships would just become a distraction that might lead to the Charter being discovered. Rachel reassured Nomad that her close friendship with the MI6 members was just a part of her cover story and that she had everything under control before going back home. Once she was home, she used her hacking skills to create a video called Kia. She asked what Kia wanted, but the latter just gave a vague answer. The next day, the MI6 team traveled to Lisbon and went to a safe house. They were having fun and dancing around when a flashbang got thrown into the room, making Parker lose consciousness as he was closest to it. Then a group of 6 hostiles barged into the house. Bailey and Yang fought against the hostiles to distract them from Rachel, whom Yang told to leave for safety. But Rachel couldn't leave them alone, so she went back in and skillfully beat the hostiles, shocking Yang and Bailey. The MI6 team went to the van and escaped from the hostiles, with the other MI6 member getting even more shocked because of Rachel, who was expertly driving. Rachel caused the cars chasing them to crash, and they successfully escaped from the hostiles. When the MI6 members stopped Rachel to ask who she really was, Rachel admitted that she was a member of the Charter, amazing both Yang and Bailey. The same can't be said for Parker, who killed both Yang and Bailey before revealing that he'd been working with Kia all along. For 6 years, Parker had been looking for the Charter. When he took Mulvaney in a cable car, he interrogated him about the heart, a very dangerous weapon that gives the Charter its power. Mulvaney explained that the heart is the most formidable weapon that can access anything and everything anywhere in the world. The heart has access to trillions of data points at once, and its modeling is so accurate that it can even predict the future. It basically means that if you own the heart, you own the world. Mulvaney stated that only a Charter member knows where the heart is. Parker left Rachel after disabling her, and everything was a blur to Rachel as she was getting brought to the Charter's clinic. Meanwhile, Jack was panicking when they were alerted about a breach inside the building. Rachel just woke up then, and despite her weak state, she jumped off the bed and stabbed her own shoulder, pulling out the device Parker had put in her to track her once she was in the HQ. In the control room, Rachel, Nomad, and Jack were discussing what happened, and Rachel suggested shutting down the heart for a while until they found out what Kia and Parker had planned. But Nomad and Jack disagreed, believing that only the heart could help them find a solution to this new problem. Nomad and Rachel went to another room to talk, and Nomad reprimanded Rachel for not listening to her heart and causing Yang and Bailey to die by revealing her identity. Because Rachel had been compromised, Nomad decided to take her out of the team to protect the heart. Dismayed, Rachel left the heart team headquarters. Inside the bus, Kia called Rachel using someone else's phone and mocked Rachel for getting kicked out of the Charter, but Kia was shocked when Rachel revealed that Parker had killed Yang and Bailey. Nomad, the King of Hearts, met up with the other king, where they discussed Parker. On December 15, 2015, Parker was on the Chechnya mission when they were trapped and all his teammates were executed. The other kings, except for Nomad, thought that the whole team had died and decided to destroy the weapons they were going to protect to prevent them from falling into the enemy's hands. Unbeknownst to them, Parker was still alive and was there during the explosion. Parker thought that they were abandoned, and since then, he's been planning to seek revenge against the Charter. Parker and Kia had reached the top of the locker and went to get the heart, but then Rachel arrived and intervened. She followed Parker and Kia into the locker and fought against Parker, while Kia focused on retrieving the heart. Kia successfully retrieved the heart, and she left the locker, followed by Parker, who planted an explosive in the locker. Parker and Kia climbed to the helicopter waiting for them, but Rachel managed to grab hold of Kia, and the two of them fell as the locker exploded. Rachel grabbed Kia midair and opened the parachute Kia had on. After landing, Rachel and Kia had no choice but to walk the desert together. Rachel learned that Kia wanted to steal her heart so she could find evidence against a man named Karcha. Karcha experimented on Kia's parents like lab rats until it killed them. He covered up the whole experiment and adopted Kia, as if that could wash away the fact that he killed her parents. As they walked, they saw a car approach them, and Rachel was relieved to see that it was just a random woman. But that relief was washed away when the woman took them to a town, and she realized they had been led to Parker and Kia's mercenaries. Rachel ran away and jumped into the water as the mercenaries started shooting at her, leaving Kia behind. Kia, on the other hand, was glad that she got saved from Rachel, but gasped in surprise when she witnessed her own ally killing an innocent civilian. Rachel was lying on the shore when she was approached by 6 Hearts, whom Nomad sent to get Rachel. 6 of Hearts took Rachel to Iceland, where Parker and Kia went. Using the Heart, there'd evidence of Karche's experiments, and through live camera footage the Heart had access to, found the charter's King of Diamonds riding an elevator with her family. Parker ordered the woman to drop the lift to kill the King of Diamonds along with her whole family. Kia, who only wanted to use the Heart to seek justice and not kill anyone, watched in horror as the King of Diamonds died along with multiple innocent civilians. Parker also learned that the King of Clubs was heading towards them, and found the location of the bunker Nomad and her team were in. Parker decided to set a trap to kill the King of Clubs and his team, while the King of Hearts and her team were locked in the bunker and the ventilation system was shut off. In about an hour, the whole team would lose oxygen and die. Kia confronted Parker, but the latter was determined to kill all charter members and even wanted to use the Heart to gain control over the world, stating that it would be better if they were the ones who held the power and not the charter. When the King of Clubs and his team reached the lab where they thought Parker's team was, Parker diverted his attention from them. Kia used this as a chance to upload a failsafe to disable the Heart and contacted Rachel to inform her of Parker's plans. Kia sent her coordinates to Rachel, and Rachel went to the van where the club's hacker was to warn the King of Club. But it was too late, as the building exploded, killing the King of Clubs and his team that were already inside the lab. The failsafe Kia had uploaded was completed, and the Heart was shut down. So Parker went to look for Kia, as she is the only one who has access to it. Rachel contacted Nomad and informed him about what happened, and Nomad stated that they only had 50 minutes before they lost oxygen and died. Rachel went to the location Kia sent her, and with only a limited amount of time left to save her team, Rachel hurriedly searched for Parker, who had gotten Kia. Parker used Kia as a hostage, but the latter struggled against him, giving Rachel the chance to get to him. Parker was strangling Rachel, and when the latter saw Kia taking the gun that Parker dropped, she kicked the glass door, causing her and Parker to fall to the ground and grabbed the gun, shooting Parker with it. Parker had died, but Rachel had also run out of time, as Nomad and the rest of the Hearts had lost consciousness due to a lack of oxygen. She and Kia immediately used the Heart to save the team, and after a short, distressing time waiting for anyone to answer the phone, Nomad woke up, followed by the rest of the team. 4 weeks later, the charter went back to work, and Kia served time in prison for all the crimes she committed. Once she was finally free, Rachel visited her and opened up about how she missed Bailey and Yang. Rachel stated that she wanted to be on a team that would do good for the world and showed a Joker card to Kia, inviting the girl to join the charter. With a new team consisting of Rachel, Kia, and Jack, the 3 set out on a new mission. But unlike an MI6 where Rachel would always stay in a van, this time she's the one going out into the field while Jack and Kia stay in the van.